Do you need to test the levels?
I don't think we need to test the levels.
No? Well, who's going to start? You bitch.
I don't know. Who's going to start? How dare you?
Firing.
Who should start?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Not That It Matters.
Peeking at all.
There's no proof of it to me. I am your longtime and beloved host.
Yes.
Nicholas Lanham.
Oh, it's a great time being here. Long time listener, first time guest.
Oh, sorry. With us is our first guest. And by us, I mean me. Our first guest is Alex Panu. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Oh, hello. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad to have you. What do you think qualifies you to be a guest on this show?
We're friends.
All right, well, that's going to do it for another episode of Not That It Matters. Hey, Alex, how's it going? Let me ask you a question. How are you?
Oh, doing well. Doing well.
Real aggressive.
Yeah, about to go check out some houses after this again.
Ooh, where at? Like, whereabouts?
All in Maplewood. Or no, Rock Hill.
Oh, okay. Rock Hill. Okay, yeah, that's a good area.
Yeah, we saw 3 houses in Maplewood yesterday.
Dope. I'm looking at apartments too, but you're looking at houses, and ours are drastic.
I'm looking at houses. You're looking for apartments in La La Land.
Yeah, Orange County.
L.A., as they say.
As the people there say.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, as the people in L.A. call it, Los Angeles, California, United States.
United States of America.
Yeah. Earth.
90210.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I still can't believe I never knew what that was until I went to L.A. the first time.
Oh, it's so
first time I went by myself. Did I tell you that story?
No, I don't think you have.
My aunt and uncle told me what it was. Like, we were driving around and they're like, "Oh, this is Beverly Hills," and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is crazy." And they were like, "Yep, 90210," and I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "The show," and they're like, "Yeah," and I was like, "What about it?" Like, what I thought, and they're like, "Well, we're in 90210," and I was like, I guess.
Oh, it's a zip code.
And I thought it was like, I legitimately, like, growing up as a kid, I thought it was like a phone number for some reason.
What?
But I never rethought about it. Like, you know, when I was like 5.
It's 5 numbers, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. But when I was like 5, I developed this notion that that's what it was, and I never revisited that idea, because why would I give a shit about 90210?
It's a fair point.
So then when they said that, they were like, no, it's a zip code. It literally hit me like a ton of bricks, where I was like, wow.
It all makes sense.
It's so deep. It's like the Beatles when you realize how they spell it. You know what I mean? Comparatively.
What do you mean?
It's the word beat instead of.
Oh, yeah.
If you've already considered, but when you finally kind of realize that, you're like, oh, it's pretty cool. You know,
it's not cool.
It's kind of cool. I think it's
not.
Cool. It's so dumb. I don't know.
It's an animal.
Are we at that age where we don't know what cool is anymore? I mean, I guess me.
Well, I've kind of been thinking that. Yeah, just like we're like 25 and 26 now.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'll see something on Instagram or Twitter that's like a deep, like this whole other community.
Yeah.
And it's like people obsessed with it. And I'm like, why?
Dude,
it just doesn't make sense to me.
Have you looked at like what's popular like on the top 40 these days?
No, I don't listen.
No one.
I don't listen to music.
Yeah, you don't. You're right. But I more mean like when I go and like I was looking at the Billboard Top 200 because a couple of like old pop punk albums like suddenly just re-entered the charts.
Dude, it's making a comeback.
And by the it's actually only My Chem stuff. I think it's because of Umbrella Academy. But like their 2 biggest albums re-entered the charts.
Because My Chem music plays at the beginning and end of it. Or
it's just Gerard.
Just the end.
It's just Gerard Way's music. But
still.
Yeah, and so I think people are like, a lot of younger people are discovering them for the first time. But yeah. I was looking at what's like the top 20 on that on the top 200, and I was like, I know Drake, I know J. Cole, but other than that, I don't know if I knew anybody else. Maybe
Cardiff B.
Cardi B wearing her cardigan, her Cardi G.
Oh.
No, it was there was one other. Who's the band that does? They did the you look so pretty standing there in your American Apparel underwear. Now they do Young Blood.
You look so pretty.
It's like a boy band.
I have no idea. I just realized that you guys have tarot cards at your house.
Where do we?
Up there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, boy.
I really want to know why there's still just one section that's not turned around. It really frustrates me.
Fuck you. Why would you tell me that?
Bothersome. 5 Seconds of Summer. They're called 5 Seconds,
5 Seconds of Summer.
God. Anyways, but I don't know any of that. I don't know,
that's like,
who the fuck is Lil Pump?
Lil Pump?
What is that?
You don't know Lil Pump? You don't know Gucci
I don't know
Gang?
Lil Pump.
I think Gucci Gang.
Oh, I do know that song. I've heard it. Yeah.
There was a really funny picture that I saw on Twitter, and it was Lil Pump, and it was a video, and it was Riley Reid, the porn star.
Yeah.
And she was sucking his toes.
What?
He posted on social media.
Oh my god! Why?
Just like a porn star sucking his toes, and he was smoking a blunt.
Are they like together?
I don't get culture.
Yeah, I don't either. That's like so over my head.
Yeah.
Has it also occurred to you recently? You can now be famous. Like it's only really just hit me that like when we were young, people were famous. Like you want to use like whatever like bands we liked or like comic books
For doing something.
for having a talent. Yeah. Now if you make a fuck tape, you're the shit. Or if you suck a dude's toes, you probably would get real famous. I know she's famous for making fuck tapes.
Oh yeah,
but for porn,
really good ones too.
Yeah, I'm sure. And hello, Riley Reid.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to her. I'm sure she listens. But like, it kind of hit me. I was like going through a lot of people who's famous, and like, they're not even like the musicians that are coming out now. Some of them are still like really talented, but there's a lot more that clearly are like built in a studio. Like what their music is built by other people, and their voice is just manipulated.
Yeah, they just play.
Yeah,
they just play the songs.
Yeah, like they're just there to like provide a monotone
or like
voice.
Actors and actresses that like have done like 3 things, but somehow they're giant. Like Ruby Rose.
Oh, yeah, she's a great example.
She's giant, and I just saw her like she's like a bit character in The Meg, which is a hilariously bad movie,
isn't it? I love it.
Terrific.
Yeah, it's great.
I had a good time watching it.
It's such a great time. Because the Meg's not that Meg.
I also watched. I watched for the first time Waterworld like 2 nights ago.
Yeah,
that movie is a hunk of shit.
Have you looked at the budget for it?
Yeah, budget was 180 million, and it made like 210.
You know, they spent like millions of dollars to CGI more hair on Kevin Costner's head.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know that bit where he's also like. He like jumps off that boat and he like catches that rope and like slides down it, like that action scene. I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah,
I just remember thinking the entire time that rope would literally shuck all of the skin off of your hands.
Oh, for sure. There's
it
also
was so bad. I've always thought that. I don't know.
There's
why.
also a scene where he like puts the boat, like he just turns on the engine, he gets on a rope and he hangs behind it.
Yep.
And he acts as like a rudder.
Yeah.
And then a big giant alien fish jumps out and he somehow kills it. Like,
yeah. Well, no, he does. Yeah. You're right.
There's also a really bad scene too where they're like, we need to find dry land.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll show you the dry land. And then he takes her underwater and it's the fakest CGI I think I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's some of the worst CGI
it's terrible
of all time.
Awful. Because it's like it's that perfect era of we can, but should we with CGI?
Yeah.
Like at that point, it wasn't good enough that you should do it.
It's like Star Wars Episode 1 CGI.
Right. Like we can, but should we? Is like
no.
Every time I watch those movies, I think like fucking the 90s Matthew Broderick Godzilla. I think about that movie more often than I should. Where Godzilla's like a girl and she lays eggs at the end, and then there's a cartoon follow up that when we were kids.
Yeah.
But wait, what were you going to say? We were talking about like being famous for nothing, and you watched The Meg.
Oh, because Ruby Rose.
Yeah,
Ruby Rose is like a giant celebrity. She has got like millions of Instagram followers,
right? So that's a good thing. She's Batwoman on CW.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
she looks really good.
So maybe that's what she's.
No, she's
got more.
She's from Orange is the New Black.
Before that.
She's Orange is the New Black.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I never watched that show.
Me neither. I just know that's.
But
what
she's
from.
like,
she wasn't even on there.
So
that long.
actually, then hers makes a little bit more sense for why
I'm thinking
she's
more
famous.
like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, in their own right though, they are like weird moguls
now.
Like, yes, now
that's what I mean.
When they first got famous, yeah, you're right.
It was
they
her.
Literally,
she got famous for fucking Ray J and dating Reggie Bush.
That sex tape too. Like they put it out specifically.
Yeah. And who was it that put their sex tape out not that long ago that like talked to her mom about how best to market their sex tape? I forgot who that was.
That
was a big thing. I forgot who it was.
Are there that many more like sex tapes?
Or maybe it was her mom talked to like Paris Hilton about how she like did hers or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she's another one who's famous for having like having like famous parents really. Like Paris Hilton.
Her parents are just rich.
Yeah, they're the Hiltons.
Yeah.
Nicole Richie's
you get famous
dad
like for being a socialite.
Lionel Richie. Yeah.
It's a thing though. Like people just like try to flex and like become popular. Like, do you follow Hard Rock Nick on Instagram?
No, but
I've told you about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally just a guy who has like manicured eyebrows, a terrible beard, and then he just says that he's rich.
Yeah, yeah.
He just says that he's rich, and he says that like he gets all this pussy. That's it.
You know who I always think of is
Famous.
Riff Raff.
Riff Raff. Riff Raff's like a funny rapper though. Some of his rap songs are so silly.
Early on,
tiptoeing in my Jordans.
But like I've always like he's got like that weird like cut up grill, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah, looks like a bag of shit.
He does look like a bag of shit. What did we say we were going to talk about first?
The MCU. Avengers coming out.
Oh, yeah. So the trailer came out
a little while ago.
Yeah, a little while ago.
Don't date the pod.
I would never date the pod.
So
the
basically,
pod's asexual. I couldn't date it if I wanted to.
Endgame's coming out.
Yes.
Hasn't come out yet.
Nope.
So this is just us rambling about
this
what
is just a vague idea that it might be coming soon.
So
or later.
I'm kind of... I don't know how they're going to bring everybody back. It's got to be something quantum realm related because Ant-Man dies, but he comes back.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, I don't think is going to solve everything.
No, not in the way we thought. She's not Adam Warlock the way he is in the comics, that he sort of shows up and solves a lot of their problems because he's so powerful.
Yeah.
That's how it happens in that Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
Oh, in the actual comic book?
Yeah.
Who wrote the Infinity Gauntlet? Isn't it a big writer?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it wasn't like Tom King.
No. Oh, no.
Scotty Young?
No. This is so long ago. Those guys are so new. This is like I'm not Mark Waid or J. Michael Straczynski.
I also started following all those guys on
that.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I just assumed that Tom King was like a 60-year-old man.
No.
He's like in his 30s.
He's also he spent like 10 years of his life in the CIA.
What?
Yeah. That's why he wrote Sheriff of Babylon.
Oh, that's so cool.
He was legitimately like an operator in the CIA overseas.
Oh, that's
He's
so
fucking
cool.
legit, dude.
He was Jack Reacher? Or no, Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan, yeah. He was Jack Ryan, Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher.
Who in the Jack Reacher book is supposed to be like 6'6", 225, and in the movie it's Tom Cruise. But no, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not that excited about Endgame.
You're not?
I'm excited, but dude, I was fucking like hyped for Infinity War, and for
I'm
Endgame,
pretty hyped for Endgame.
I'm hyped, but I'm more like, I know they're coming back.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like the same movie that Infinity War was.
It's gonna be flipped over.
Yeah,
they all come back.
Yeah,
Thanos snaps and they redust.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it!
Do you know what I mean? I'm really upset about that too.
The way they fucked up is because we all know Spider-Man's coming out. But
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man's going to come out. Like, I think in terms of the timeline, I think it's going to take place before Infinity War, if I had to guess. I think it's going to be like almost immediately after Homecoming. Before he's like officially an Avenger.
It could be. Yeah, you could be right.
I think that's what it's going to be, but not many people, like the casual fan doesn't know that. The casual fan just thinks it's coming out after Endgame.
Right.
So it has to take place after Endgame.
Yeah.
I think the best way to market that should have been, they shouldn't have announced that it was going to be released.
Right.
They should have just said, no, like this ends, because it's ending the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, it's ending like a 4-segment saga of films. What, 23 movies or something at that point?
Yeah, something like
22. And I mean, like, you have to kind of put the blame on people like us who want to know every little bit before the movie's out. So we want to know what movies are coming.
Yeah,
it never used to be that way. You would just wait until you saw the trailer, and that's when you knew it was coming. Whereas like now,
I mean, literally wait a month after Endgame and then be like, drop a Spider-Man trailer.
But you can't, because like people take pictures of like on set photos and stuff. Like,
yes,
there's no way.
Happen. Yeah, we knew that Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, or is that what it is? Mysterio?
He's Mysterio, yeah.
No. I really think that they missed the mark. They could have hired Rey Mysterio, the WWE wrestler,
to do
the WWE luchador.
Little guy, the luchador mask guy. I mean, they
619.
The 619, yeah, dude, that was the move.
Have you ever been to one of those live?
No, I had tickets to go to one, and I had fucking walking pneumonia, and I couldn't go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think it was Raw, or it was here. No, it was SmackDown, because I wanted to see Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay.
And he was on SmackDown.
I went to a Raw when I was in high school with my dad.
Yeah,
and it was really the beginning of the end for my love for WWE.
Yes,
it's a pretty goddamn cool show.
I bet. Yeah,
it was also during the time when Raw was having celebrity hosts.
Oh, okay.
So Freddie Prinze Jr. was the host.
What?
Freddie Prinze Jr. is like one of like the head writers
Oh,
for the
really?
WWE.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least he was at the time.
He's a weird dude. He's like a big voice actor now too, on like
Is he?
Star Wars Rebels. And
he
which
does
I guess.
he does a podcast with a really funny comedian, Josh Wolf.
Yeah. I've never listened to it.
Prince
but
and the Wolf. I haven't either.
I would listen to it though. I like him. He did a really good episode on Psych. Remember where he was a fat kid, and then when they meet him, and it's like him with like a really hot wife.
Yeah, and
but he's
like
a secret closet like wizard.
Yeah, he's like a giant nerd.
Yeah,
and his girlfriend doesn't know.
He's got this dope house and like a secret like lair where he's
like Star Trek.
Yeah,
Star Trek communicators.
Yeah.
But what made me really stop hating Raw is I saw like a drop kick. Somebody went for a drop kick.
Oh yeah,
and
it was.
I could tell that they missed by a foot and a half.
Yeah.
And the person like just felt like they got hit by a truck. I was like,
Yeah. I think it was the first time I like really, I was only into it for so long, but I remember the first time that I like really knew it was fake was when I saw one of the Hardy Boys like knock out the Undertaker.
Okay.
And I remember going, no.
Wouldn't happen in real life.
Yeah, no fucking way.
Undertaker's a large man.
He's massive. He's like Andre the Giant, like, but like a little bit smaller.
Not.
Dude, he's like 6'9".
Andre the Giant was
He's like 7 foot.
What was it? Gigantism?
Yeah, he had like a when he was a kid, and then they like.
Well, it's a problem in your pituitary gland?
Yeah, it just is like overactive and never stops.
Well, because there's a UFC fighter that had that, Bigfoot Silva.
Bigfoot Silva? How many Silvas are there?
And there's like 45.
Yeah.
Well, it's
UFC.
It's Smith for Brazilians.
Well, I just meant in UFC.
A lot.
Yeah. Spider Silva is like the biggest one, right?
Yeah, Anderson the Spider.
Yeah. But
yeah,
no, that was the end for me.
Bigfoot Silva. It literally looks like Andre the Giant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's got that weird fit, like his face is like the size of a basketball.
Yeah. I mean, and the Undertaker's massive though. I think he's like, regardless
Rey
of how big
Mysterio knocks people out.
That's what I'm saying.
A tiny man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was like the first time I saw one of the Hardy Boys just like drop kick him in the face, and I was like, no, he couldn't even jump that high. Like, there's no way. There's no possible way that one of the like Jeff Hardy could take down the Undertaker. And that's when I turned to my dad and I was like, this is really fake. And my dad was like, yes. Like he would watch it. He would watch it with me just to like be a nice dad.
Yeah,
and like bond with his son.
Yeah,
but I could tell he's like, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
like
he's like, I'll go. It was still, I'll admit, very fun.
I bet the production value is cool.
It's a fun live event.
Was Randy Orton there at that point?
Yeah.
So because I'm St. Louis boy. Yeah.
So was there's a guy from Parkway West.
Who's a big wrestler?
Yeah.
The only one I know is
I don't remember.
It was Randy Orton. That's from St. Louis.
Yeah. Brother is a very funny stand-up comic.
Yeah, Nathan
Orton. If you're in St. Louis, check him
out. But no, back to the Endgame trailer and the Endgame coming out. I think if I had to guess what's going to happen, I'm almost positive that it's going to be it's like heavy time travel.
It's going to be heavy time travel. I think you'll see a little bit of Carol Danvers in the 90s too.
Yeah, and you have to.
Well, no, because she leaves. She leaves to find the Skrulls a homeworld.
You can't.
So yeah, she'll just come back in the present day.
There was a really cool theory, and I think it was the Weekly Planet or somebody like that was talking. I think it was them that were saying when you see her at the end of Captain Marvel, she looks super frazzled when she shows up. And we know, like, canonically, one of the Russos said that Spider-Man took so long to get dusted because he was so strong that he could hold on. And that they were saying, wouldn't it be cool if she was barely holding on? Like, she looked that frazzled.
She was still fighting.
Because she was supposed to be snapped, but she's so strong that she, like, can't really use her powers, but she's holding on.
Oh, that's dope.
But then we see her in the trailer, and she doesn't look that way at all.
No.
So that would have been cool, I think.
Would have been cool.
So that way she's not like this.
I didn't realize that's why they made Spider-Man hang on.
Yeah,
because he's so strong.
Yeah, that's why he got words out and like was talking for a second. Like he was strong enough to, and she's like way beyond him, and so she's like letting herself hold.
She's way beyond anybody besides maybe Thor.
Thor, yeah, is the only one, and like she's not like celestial level or anything, but
yeah. So Brandy and I are rewatching all of the Marvel movies in the correct order.
Mm-hmm.
That first Thor movie is so fucking bad.
No, it's not. It's so good.
The first Thor?
The first Thor. I love the first Thor.
No.
What? What's bad about it?
It's just...
I say that being like, have I missed something?
Well, how they set up... I fucking hate when they do this in movies. They did it with, like, the new King Arthur movies, where they set up like all these like side characters. Like you have your main guy Thor, and then you have like all of his buddies that
The Warriors
have
3.
like their different personalities and like all that kind of shit, and they're just no charisma off any of them. You don't give a shit about a single one of them.
I like a lot
Which
of
is why
them.
Taika in Ragnarok, he just immediately kills them all for no reason.
Yeah.
You have like a French guy who's like a musketeer who fights with a rapier.
He's British. Flandrel.
Whatever.
Yeah. You have Volstagg, who's like a
Gimli.
Yeah. And my axe.
Yeah.
And then you have the other guy. I don't know his name, but
Asian guy.
yeah, I forgot his name. And then you have Sif.
Yeah, the girl.
She's good. I think they're because
the girl's okay.
I think they're good in the first one. I think they're not great in the second one.
I still haven't rewatched the second one.
Not yet.
Also, Iron Man 2, not as bad as I originally thought.
No, it's just very story heavy, and I feel like they didn't know what to do with the alcoholism thing. You know what I mean?
The alcoholism thing.
You know that where he's drunk at that party and like Rhodey knocks him out and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge part of the comics for a long time was Tony Stark's like rampant alcoholism.
Okay.
But I think
That's
they were kind of
interesting.
thinking like we don't want to do that too long, so we'll put it in this one movie. But that's such a big concept, and
It's also
make enough
not
sense.
in the movie for that. It's in the movie for maybe 15 minutes.
That's what I mean. So it kind of feels like a weird addition.
Yeah, it's that part where he's just like eating donuts
Yeah,
in the middle of the donut, and then he's just like a drunk.
and Rhodey.
Well, it's because he knows he's dying too, so he just stops caring.
Yeah, and then he just happens to invent a new element and save his life. That's such a comic book thing, though. So it's I didn't really
it's not
mind
that he
it.
just like invents it. They do it. They do it kind of well. They do it.
They do it.
Oh, Jesus.
They do.
That his dad discovers it and he lays the groundwork of the
you're right,
actual
I forgot about
atom
that. Yeah.
in the Stark Expo grounds.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. There's those
You get a
movies
lot
are-
of cool like graphics and all that kind of stuff too. Like his computing software that he has like in his garage is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. It's amazing. I love that he like hangs out with his robots. Like he's like the one that's like always fucking up. Yeah. And then Jarvis is obviously like we know what that becomes. That's great groundwork to lay for the Vision.
Yeah.
And there's the Iron Man movies had a lot more Easter eggs than a lot of people realize, even though some of them are revisionist. Like there's a little kid in an Iron Man suit that's like got his fist out in the second one. We know that's Peter Parker.
Oh, that's supposed to be Peter Parker?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they said that after the fact. But then in the first one, when he's trying to make the Iron Man suit, and he's like, there's like that laser beam. He's like working really hard to like push it towards the, like he's like I forgot how the scene's going.
Oh,
the Captain America shield is underneath.
Yeah.
That you see it busted up.
Well, it's
So
like
there's
a prototype of it. It's like it's like an extruded version where it's like all the individual parts.
Yeah, it's like kind of, and there's like some wire work underneath it. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, but
He uses it to he's putting like almost like a large hadron collider together.
Yeah.
And he's like Coulson picks up the shield.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, that'll be perfect." And
he just uses that.
shoves it underneath it.
It's great.
My favorite one is to keep one of it up. He has a motorcycle with just a stack of books.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I don't know if there's ever been anybody. I mean, there's a few like Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, but like Robert Downey Jr. is born to be Tony Stark.
Yes.
He's not actually that like similar to the Tony Stark in the comics. He's not as douchey in the comics. He is, but
He looks perfect.
yeah, but he kind of, I hate to say it, they did a great job because he sort of takes on that like billionaire playboy philanthropist Bruce Wayne thing.
Yeah.
And then he's also Iron Man. So they sort of co-opt that Batman thing on like in a great way. Granted, that same year, maybe the best movie of all time came out, which is The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But Iron Man is like
When did that come out? 2009?
2008. Both of those were
2008.
08. Yeah.
Wait, which was 08?
Both of them. Iron Man and Dark Knight were 08.
I think Iron Man was 09.
No, they're both 08.
It's 08?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Incredible Hulk was the end of that summer. 09 was Iron.
Incredible Hulk, we just skipped it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You should. The only important thing is
It
that
would also just be confusing too, because you're like, okay, this guy's the Hulk.
and then he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things ever, like it's one of the most subtle jokes, is when Terrence Howard leaves after the first Iron Man.
Yep.
Because he wants to get paid as much as Robert Downey Jr.,
yeah.
which is hilarious.
Yeah. Okay.
But then they
Totally
just make it
Terrence.
Don Cheadle, and Rhodey comes in to the Senate hearing,
Yeah.
and then Tony's like about to say something, and he's like, you know what, never mind, we just won't even mention it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
He even just
I
like
love it.
almost says it to the audience.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're not even going to deal with it.
I know, and it bums me out too because
Don
those
Cheadle's such a better character. He's such a
way
better
better.
actor to play it.
I like Terrence Howard, but like
So do I, but he's...
that ruined him for me.
Oh, when he left that?
Well, and the way he left, like just
Yeah.
like burning all those bridges, like
Yeah.
publicly. Same with Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, and then they... And then
His is the most embarrassing.
Well, he like never wanted to be a part of it, right? Never wanted to be a part of any...
Sequels?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said like, he's like, I hated the makeup and you don't understand if you're not like on those sets, these big budget films, they just churn you out and spit you out like cogs in a machine. And Marvel just kind of laughed and was like, yeah, all right, well, we'll replace you and no one will know it's not you. Like, and Red Skull is in Infinity War.
I just thought they like CGI'd a character to look exactly like Hugo Weaving.
What do you mean?
I thought that was a CGI person.
No, it's a dude. It's a dude with
an
makeup
actual actor.
Yeah, he's on The Walking Dead. Ross Marquand or something, I think his name is.
Oh,
you would know him if you saw him.
He looks just like Hugo Weaving.
Well, with the makeup on, and he does. But the thing he does the best is the voice. Like he does the accent and everything.
Yeah, the voice is
exactly
perfect.
right. Yeah, he's a really good. He does a lot of. He's a big impressionist. You can find a lot of videos of him doing like serious impressions.
Okay, that's fun.
But that's Marvel's way of being like, yeah, like one, you're not as big.
I know this guy.
Yeah, you're not as important as you think.
I don't watch Walking Dead because it's a shit show.
Yeah. It's become a shit show for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But
cool.
Back to Endgame.
Yeah, so
let's just wrap that up saying what do you think is going to happen?
I think everybody's going to come back, but I think it's going to be at the cost of Tony Stark and
Captain
Steve
America.
Rogers.
So
Yeah.
we know Cap's done. We know Chris Evans has
contract's
said he's
over.
done.
Yeah.
He's come out and said he's done. So
Yeah, he tweeted after the
Infinity War.
It was not after Infinity War. It was right after they finished shooting Endgame.
Well,
And
they
he
shot
said,
them back to back.
Yeah, but he
So-
said like there's so many memories associated with his character. Like
He's like,
I'm
I'm
eternally
happy to,
grateful for all the support.
which is cool. I mean,
Which means he's clearly done.
when he said this was my last film. So
Okay.
yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. hasn't said that, but
Can he pass up 50 mil a movie?
well, I think the thing is, I bet Marvel can pass up 50 mil a movie for one actor, knowing that they've made a lot of these other guys very expensive.
Yeah, that is true.
And I hate to say it, but you're getting to the point where he's just too old. Like he's not far from 60.
He still doesn't look. He doesn't look.
I know,
old. He's
but
almost 60.
He's got to be.
There's no fucking way.
I mean, he's older than he's like my parents' age, so he's probably
Whoa.
somewhere between like 55 and 60. He's got to be.
So when we were going back and watching these, as we were watching Iron Man, I was doing RDJ research.
Yeah.
And I was reminded of his arrest
Yes.
back like in the 80s.
Yep.
When he was on coke, like had a gun, was drunk and naked.
Yes. Yes. He was crazy. He's crazy. I mean,
Is there a better Hollywood comeback than that guy? He was the biggest thing-
Rourke.
Maybe.
Doesn't touch RDJ though.
But he was the biggest star in the world for a while.
Yeah, I don't think it touches. It's got.
And then
he wasn't the biggest star in the world ever.
but I mean, he was a very big actor when he was like in his 20s and his teens.
He never did anything huge though.
He's 53.
Okay, so
He's getting there.
He's at that point where like he's not doing a lot of his action scenes, and we know that. Not that he needs to because he's in the suit, but I'm just saying it's like he's not going to be able to do a lot of stuff.
Dude, he's been acting since the 70s.
Yeah, well, his dad was an actor. He was a child actor. So, dude, I also think Iron Man's role in the universe is kind of done. I think
He's almost done as much as he can.
I think the only time he needs to come back is in situations like Homecoming, where he plays that kind of a role in a movie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, where he's just kind of like a mentor.
Yeah, I don't need to see any Iron Man movies anymore. I don't think.
Oh, not any solos. No. I think he'd come back and some of the big one. He's probably in Far From Home.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think I know Nick Fury is.
Well,
And
he's in
usually those
everyone.
two kind of play that same role now. When they do show up in movies, they're like guiding people.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's room as much for that. But Happy Hogan is. So maybe Tony Stark does show up. I love Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan. He's so
Jon
funny.
Favreau's the best.
He's great at everything. I can't wait for The Mandalorian, which is his Star Wars show.
Oh, yeah.
And Taika's directing a couple episodes.
FX?
No, it's on the Disney streaming service.
Oh, okay.
And
Did you watch What We Do in the Shadows? The TV show?
I was like, what?
The pilot?
No, I haven't watched it. Is it good?
It's pretty good.
I've heard a lot of people are raving about it, but the trailers haven't looked to me like.
People are raving about it, and I think they're raving about it because they haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, the movie
It's not even close
no.
to that level of funny. It's funny. Mm-hmm. It's like okay.
Yeah,
But it's nowhere near the movie.
I just feel like that movie.
It also was a pilot,
Yeah.
So they're setting them all up, kind of like the same characters from the movie.
Yeah.
Like where they're a little bit different.
Yeah.
But they also, one of the perfect castings I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They hire the guy who plays Nate in The Office.
Yeah.
He plays there's a new level of vampire in the TV show. And it's a energy vampire.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they literally just
boring.
They literally just talk to you and bore you to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's what that actor. That's what he plays.
That's good casting.
Yeah,
that's great.
And he's
casting.
just like in a sweater and like has like little glasses. And he's
yeah.
So like car detailing, like they actually get in there and they like, he just talks about the most like
that's pretty
inane shit ever.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
really funny.
That's amazing. That's really good actually.
Yeah, there's a scene where they open up his room and he's just like sitting on his bed, like staring off into nowhere. And they're like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm resting."
Oh my god! Is it an hour long or half hour?
It's just a half.
Okay,
yeah,
that's probably better. I think.
Yeah, I watched it live last night.
I need to watch it, but I'm also worried. Like, I know Taika and Jermaine are involved doing stuff, but I'm still just like, it just didn't. It looks really good, but it doesn't look. The movie is just so much like. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
It's my funniest movie.
You think so? Yeah, I think it probably is mine too.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it on the podcast. Yeah. There's 3 movies that make me laugh every single time, and it's What We Do in the Shadows, Blazing Saddles, Holy Grail.
Yeah, I'd say the first and the third that you said for sure. No, Blazing Saddles too.
Blazing Saddles is a fucking masterpiece.
So good. Actually, all those Mel Brooks movies make me laugh. Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein.
I still don't think I've ever seen Young Frankenstein.
Really? Oh, no. Dude, it's great.
Didn't he do Men in Tights too?
Yes. Yeah. Robin. Yeah. Those.
I watched Prince of Thieves the other day. I was on a Kevin Costner, Kevin Reynolds bender.
Jesus Christ! How could you be on? Did you watch like Dances with Wolves?
No, I didn't.
That's a great movie though. Actually.
I didn't have 4 hours to spare.
Dude, that movie, it's so long.
It's a long one. Yeah, this guy Kevin Reynolds has just done. He did one good movie, and everything else he's done is shit.
I know, dude. He
only works with Kevin Costner.
Yep.
He did Prince of Thieves in 91.
Yeah.
Waterworld in 95. And then
Everything Bad.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
I remember
Tristan and Isolde.
Wasn't The Count of Monte Cristo? No, I'm thinking of The Man in the Iron Mask. That's the Leo one. That was a good movie, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you watch Hatfields and McCoys? It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Bill Paxton and Kevin Costner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or both. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Waterworld was so fucking bad.
I was going to say my big comedies are What We Do in the Shadows, Monty Python, the big trio of that, and then
Life of Brian,
and Meaning of Life, and Holy Grail. Yeah, and then also the Christopher Guest movies like Spinal Tap, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, Mighty Wind, all that stuff. I did those.
I don't think I've ever watched.
You said you've never seen Spinal Tap, right?
No, I've seen Spinal Tap.
Or is it?
I've never seen a Best in Show or a Mighty Wind.
Oh, dude.
Which I know I would love them because I remember my parents having them.
Yeah,
I think I still have
because you love What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
So and Spinal Tap too.
Yeah, I think I have. I think I have the DVDs at my parents' house.
You should. Yeah, you
or
should
my mom's house.
Yeah. I knew there was a joke coming there.
That was super weird too because so as you know on the podcast, my dad's
canonically
dead. My dad's dead.
Jesus.
And I was telling Nick, and I told my mom the other day to watch this TV show Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais show on Netflix.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
And so I had to set up to my mom, and I was like, yeah, it's a very funny show. And I was like, actually, never mind. You might not like it. And she goes, why? And I go, well, his wife dies after a long bout of cancer. And my mom was like, oh, God.
Oh, my God, dude.
But then I told her some of the jokes, and I'll tell them to you. In the first episode, he walks past a kid's playground, and this like bully just yells at him. He just goes, pedo, pedo, pedo. And then he just walks up to him and very casually just goes, I'm not a pedo. And if I was, I wouldn't fuck you, you tubby ginger cunt.
I love that.
So it's a very dark, funny show.
Yeah.
And so basically,
what's the premise?
The love of his life dies after a long bout of cancer, and he doesn't want to go through life without her. So he just tells everybody exactly how he's feeling at any moment. Oh. And his out is that if he ever gets too sad, he'll just kill himself. And he kind of treats that as like a superpower. Like he always has an out.
Yeah.
And there's a great scene where he always like tries to kill himself, but there's something very just dumb that keeps him from doing it. It's usually his dog. And there's a scene where he's listening to music in a tub with a razor blade about ready to slice his wrists. And he looks over at his dog. His dog just goes, oh. And he goes, are you hungry? The dog goes, oh. And he goes, God damn it. And he gets up to feed the dog.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Is it, how many episodes are there?
I think it's 8.
8? Okay.
Yeah, there's also there's a great scene where, so his brother-in-law, his wife's brother, is his boss at the local paper that he's a writer for. Oh, also a great aspect of the show too is that they're writing for a small town paper, so people just call for bullshit. Yeah. Like this one guy calls him and he's like, there's a water stain on his wall, and he's like, doesn't this look like Kenneth Branagh?
So he's bringing some of that like mundane stuff he did with The Office back. Good.
So it's a lot of that, but there's a scene where his brother brings them all The Office out to a comedy club, and this comic makes a joke that's like, it's a kind of a fun misdirect. He's like, my buddy tried to kill himself last week, so he swallowed everything in the bathroom, choked on a tampon. So it's like a funny little misdirect. And Ricky Gervais's character is just sitting there giving him nothing. And he's like, oh man, why aren't you laughing? Like, what's your story? And he goes, well, my wife died this year and it completely broke me, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of killing myself. And the comic's just like, and then he just goes into his next joke. He's like, umbrellas are weird. It just ends the scene. That's great. It's a very funny show. Yeah. And he wrote and directed every episode.
Okay, so it is, because he did that with Derek too. I don't know if you've watched Derek.
I have not.
Derek's really good. That's the thing about Ricky Gervais is he's like brilliant, but his stand-up is putrid.
Well, he didn't really do stand-up.
Right, he got famous.
He was famous before, and then he was like, okay, let me try to do stand-up. Yeah. His new special Humanity is like okay.
No.
I thought it was okay.
Unless it's not the one I'm thinking of, it's mostly just him going like, "Look what this dude said to me on Twitter, and look how funny funny thing I said back."
That's like a 5-minute bit. It's not this whole bit.
It felt
it's close to the beginning. That's probably why you remember.
Yeah, because I turned it off.
Yeah, that's probably why you remember.
It was really bad.
I remember enjoying it. I was very high when I watched it, though.
Oh, that might have helped.
And I was also on a Ricky Gervais kick. I watched all of Afterlife. Then I started watching Extras. That's a very underratedly...
Extras is good.
Like, dumb, funny show.
Extras is good.
The first episode is hilarious.
Which one is that?
It's Ben Stiller is like is directing a story of like an Eastern Bloc European guy losing his wife.
Yeah. Dude, that is a good show. I'm like going back.
There's a whole scene at the end. The whole end scene is Ricky Gervais is like, I don't know, you're kind of being like a jerk. And he's like, oh, I'm being a jerk?
Yeah.
Along came Polly. $60 million budget.
Yeah.
$120 million first week. He starts listing his credits.
Yeah.
How much they made.
Dude, have you seen the one with Johnny Depp?
No, I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, okay.
I think I just finished season 1.
There's some really good stuff in there. And the one where he's talking to Steve Carell on the phone, he doesn't realize that he hasn't hung up with Steve Carell. And he's like, Steve Carell's like, he's like, oh, you're so nice. And they're like, okay, talk to you later. And he hasn't hung up. And he's like, biggest fucking wanker I know. And Steve's like, still here. Like they do it like 3 times. It's a really good bit.
Or he keeps trying to hang up the phone, but it's not.
And he's talking to Stephen Merchant and Warwick Davis, and it's very funny.
Stephen Merchant's really underratedly funny in that show too.
Yeah.
Well, he is in everything he does. He's just a very like under the radar, funny character.
He's another one where like, especially when a lot of Americans, I don't think get his humor, just like they don't get like a lot of
British comedy
or like What We Do in the Shadows. A lot of people, it goes over their head. Yeah. I just saw Jermaine I watched a clip of him on Jimmy Fallon, and he's fucking hilarious, and they're giving him nothing. Like Jimmy doesn't even seem to, like, he gets the humor, you can tell, but Jimmy also is beholden to the crowd more so. So like the crowd's not getting it, and Jimmy keeps trying to move it on. Like you can tell he thinks Jermaine's funny, but the crowd is just not getting his jokes at all. And it's really like,
especially a late night audience though. That's not really your biggest comedy fans.
Not like the right kind, especially not his
comedy
kind.
Connoisseurs.
I don't know what you call that, their kind of comedy, like What We Do in the Shadows, but like
we talked about it. It's like it's British comedy that's like that very dry, subtle comedy.
It's like highbrow.
like New Zealand, Australian comedy seems like it's a little more wacky, but it's still like a subdued wackiness.
And also a little bit more like
there's a lot more like weird like minutia with New Zealand comedy.
Like they have well, in Australia
too. Douchiest things to say.
No, you're right. No, but I don't know
there's
what
so much more minutia in New Zealand comedy.
It feels like it's like denser. Like there's more going. Like you feel like like there's like a I don't know. Yeah, there's like a depth to their, especially in New Zealand. Yeah, you're right. Because I know more of that. Like some of Australia's comedy is just kind of like, like they're kind of just goofy.
It's all one man shows. Everybody puts on like one man shows.
I meant like
stand up shows.
I meant like comedic
I know like even like shows and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought you meant like just stand up.
It's a lot more zany
because all their stand up.
It's a one man show.
They're all one man shows. Yeah. They tour like an act. Like they write out a full act.
Yeah,
and then they're like, okay, I'm going to tour this act instead of. Okay, here's a bit that I have. Let me test this out over months and months and months and craft an act.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they just write an act. Yeah. Which is why it's not as funny.
It's not. And that's why like we love Do Go On. And they're like, oh, we're 3 stand-up comedians. And I really want to be like, you're not.
Their stand-ups suck.
They're way funnier on Do Go On.
Yeah, they're funnier on the podcast.
And they're funny people. But their stand-up is, I mean, Matt's is okay. But like the other two are not good.
The most funny Australian comedian is Jim Jeffries.
Yeah,
and it's because he left. Yeah, he left Australia immediately.
Yeah,
and went to the UK.
I've heard him talk about it.
And the UK is still like the comedy scene isn't crazy.
I was going to say name like 5 maybe like great British comedians. You probably Jimmy Carr.
A funny thing is that I was looking at that Comedians of the World. Mm-hmm. All the US comics you know, you don't know a single one from any other place.
No. Yeah.
And I consider myself a comedy connoisseur.
I would agree.
And I didn't know a single comic from the UK.
Yeah. Jimmy Carr's
new special is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
It's very good.
He's also sort of one man showy sometimes. Like he literally builds in bits where he's like, please heckle me so I can come back at you.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he does do he's not like Australian level, but you know what I mean? He's still not like
It's not really one man showy. He just has built-in crowd work.
He has like segments sometimes built into his stand-up, I feel like.
Yes, he definitely has segments.
That's how I say it.
His most recent special, the last one, is all of his most offensive jokes.
Yeah.
And he closes with a joke that he talked about on The Green Room.
Okay, yeah.
Which was an old Showtime show.
Yeah. I never really watched it, but
he said he had a joke on this Green Room show that he could never do.
Yeah.
And he finally put it on a special. Uh-huh. And the joke is, if only Africa had more mosquito nets, every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS. That's a perfect joke.
That's a great joke.
You literally it's just beautifully worded. Yeah.
And
it's great. It's a terrific misdirect.
Yeah, and
the joke isn't even about AIDS, it's about the wording of it.
Yeah. I don't and I'm not saying he's a one man show, but I am saying he's still like American comedy adjacent a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But in a good way. I think in a good way though. I think it works for him. Whereas like Australian stand-ups, like I know you love Hannah Gadsby and I will let you get over that at some point.
Oh god damn, she's the worst. Stand-up is so unfunny.
Like American comedy, I don't know. There's for some reason, especially nowadays, where we can totally we finally got to that point where we've got off our high. A lot of us have got off our high horse and been like, we're the #1 power. Fucking yeah, America.
For stand-up, it's 100% true.
Like making fun of us for that?
Oh no! Like the America fuck yeah thing.
Yeah,
it's not true. For stand-up,
it is.
It's 1 billion percent.
And film probably too.
Film for sure.
But I've been
some pretty fun Bollywood shit though.
Oh yeah, fun is a great word to describe Bollywood.
It's a good time.
And obviously, What We Do in the Shadows is a New Zealand film and stuff like. And a couple of Taika's movies are great, and like there's some good Australian shit. But like, I was gonna say I've been listening to like I'm glad we're at an age where like everything that we've done in America is now also fair game to be made fun of, because I've been really into. We've talked about this briefly, but I'm really into that podcast now, Come Town.
Oh,
and they've been recently doing a lot of shit talking about Bam Margera and like making fun of like, yo, I'm Bam Margera. Yeah, we're gonna like cover like my turds and flour and hit my mom in the face with them. Like they just do this.
So funny.
And now like it's just like I'm like looking back and I used to be obsessed with Jackass and Viva La Bam.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Dude,
CKY.
Jackass CKY the band.
Oh, because of them, I liked CKY and I loved him because they loved him.
Jackass is still They're very funny movies.
Well, they're funny, but I more mean like the Bam shit where they were like, we're going to fucking come in an envelope and send it to April. Like,
the Viva La
like,
Bam.
come on, Bam.
The
like,
Viva La Bam show.
Yeah. And they do those bits on Cumtown. And now I like, because they're like, we just do them in our lives now. And I've noticed like, I find myself going, yo, this is Bam Margera, and I'm about to walk out here and slash this dude's tires, man. And this is Jackass. Like it's just like, and then they had Bam on the show and he's fucking like broken now. Like,
for real?
He's a little unhinged, yeah. Because right after he was on their show, he like punched his manager and like did all this shit.
Fun.
Dude,
he's very fat now too.
He is, yeah. And so that's what I mean is like, I love that American comedy is now at that point where it's like, it is the pinnacle. Like, we make fun of ourselves for everything. We make fun of everybody else. We also are very like inclusive in being like, we'll make fun of us and you and everybody. And like,
yeah, but America also has a thing that not many other countries have where it's the policing of words and the police. Actually, no, I take that back. It's way worse in Canada.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there was a comic that got sued for like 80 grand.
I was going to say
for saying an anti-trans
really,
joke.
really bad.
And it wasn't even like an anti-trans joke. It was a joke about trans people.
Yeah, there's like, the PC police here in America can be really bad.
It's way worse than like the UK.
Or Australia.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, like it's still, that's true. But I still think like we're producing the highest level of comedy content.
Oh, yeah.
And it's at like a clip. Nobody, granted, we also have 300 million people here. No other country that's doing good comedy can touch that number.
But it's also,
there's not like great Russian comedy.
Yakov Smirnoff, fuck you.
Oh, let's go down to Branson and see him.
Yeah, the Yakov Dinner Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just worries me that like there's so much good content and everything is so saturated.
No, you're right.
That it's like we're allowing shit comics to get specials now. And
yeah, I mean, why you want to talk about Nanette again?
Oh no, I don't. But I mean, I get why she got a special.
Yeah, what she's saying is important, but she's not doing comedy.
No, not at all. And they call it a special. It's dumb.
It's special.
Yeah, it's special in how unfunny it is for a stand-up special.
Yeah.
Like I even saw an article, which I mean, she's not American, but
yeah,
it got successful in America.
Yes, very,
and it won like the Melbourne Comedy Festival. I think won like
it's won awards here too.
Dumb.
Yeah.
I even saw like a news article that was like Hannah Gadsby's comfortable not being funny. It's like,
okay,
you're not a comedian then. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, she's not doing like
it's I mean, it's something to be said for like society as a whole, where people who know very little about any sort of thing just claim to know everything and they write as if they're experts.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, it's people who. Sorry, I had a thing pop up on my computer. What?
Switch.
What are you pointing at?
Hit that switch.
Oh shit!
Fuck.
Let's take a quick break. I gotta pee.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, no, that was in the middle of a thought. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, finish your thought.
But you have, like, I know a lot about comedy.
Yeah.
And there's like way more nuance than what all these comedy writers are writing about. Like, there's this narrative, especially with the Nanette special, to shine a light and to give somebody success because they are a gay woman, because they don't necessarily fit into the gender binary and are talking about something that's very important as sexual assault.
Right.
So they are lauding that special as like this revolutionary masterpiece.
Yeah.
But it's just because you're saying something important doesn't mean that you are like this great master stand-up comedian, because she's not. She's very unfunny.
Yeah.
She's saying important things. She's saying all of the right, like, liberal ideas that people want to push forward in the media, especially.
And should push forward, like a lot of stuff.
Forward. Yeah. But you are giving somebody who is unfunny a stand-up special when there are plenty of other gay female comedians that are genius comedians and that talk about assault and all that kind of stuff, and their specials don't get nearly as much love.
Yeah, they were talking about who on Cumtown. They mentioned
Cameron Esposito,
that's what they said,
Rhea Butcher.
They said Cameron Esposito especially.
Tig Notaro. Like, these are strong gay women that are fucking hilarious and that don't get as much play.
Tig does.
Tig does a little bit. I mean, she has a show. So does Cameron Esposito and Rhea Butcher, but like they're not getting these big giant Netflix specials.
Tig does.
Tig got a HBO special, but HBO specials are nothing.
Not they used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
An HBO
don't you remember
special.
Ellen DeGeneres in the 90s on HBO?
Well, yeah, that's back when HBO mattered.
Yeah. Well, it still does.
Not for stand-up.
No, yeah,
Not for stand-up at all.
Not at all. No, nobody cares anymore. Somebody just did a special on HBO and was like really promoting it. And I was like,
Pete Holmes, probably?
yeah, Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't give a shit, dude. I'm sorry.
I watched it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Pete Holmes, too. But
Yeah.
special's not very good.
His show's way better than his special was.
Yeah, and the show's canceled.
What?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh, yeah, Crashing got canceled after season
Dude,
3.
it's times like this where I'm like, maybe I should get back on Twitter, but I just won't. I only use it now to troll my friend Tony,
Yeah, it got
as though I'm a
canceled.
40-year-old.
I think it was only getting like 100 to 300,000 watches.
That's nothing. That's terrible, even for HBO. As a
But that's
subscription
live.
service.
That's live. That's not including
Oh, like rewatching
streams and stuff
DVR,
like that,
and
which is
streams,
how I
yeah.
watch it. But yeah, I just think the ratings were bad.
It's really
Such
good.
a great show.
That's a bummer. Luckily, HBO doesn't take stuff down like that, so it'll always be there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
of
you have
course.
HBO, but
I'm gonna go pee really
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
And I gotta turn on this.
do you want me to just like segue into our next thing? I'll start talking about Us and Shazam.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Start
I
talking
can
about
do
those
that.
movies because
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet. So
Yeah.
you're gonna know.
I'll talk
more about.
Yeah. So I recently. Oh yeah. It's the first one. Yeah.
That one says 911.
No, we don't know why it's so we have a switch on our wall that says 911 on both sides, like up above and below it, like a wall switch for a light, and we don't know why it says 911. We have never known. But while Alex pees, I'm going to say I went and saw over the weekend. I saw 2 movies. I saw Us and I saw Shazam. I got to see Shazam early. Thanks, Fandango. So first, I want to say both were good, really good movies, and I know one of them is coming from a franchise of films that have been notoriously bad and absolute shit. Since he can't defend himself, I'm going to say Alex is a huge fan of Justice League. He's also a huge fan of Batman vs Superman. It's only because he can't defend himself, so that's now on the record and canonical to the podcast that you are
You've
a
been talking
huge.
shit this whole time?
Oh, I was just saying that you're a huge fan of Justice League and BVS.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I was just saying. So they're both
These people know damn well.
they're both good. How much do you want me to spoil of these movies for you? Because Us, it was good, but the twist was horrifically bad.
Was it?
Not horrifically bad, but it ruins the movie.
We can do spoilers. This won't come out for a while.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure you want to see both.
I'm
But
still going to see them both. But
yeah, Shazam. There's nothing I can really spoil for you that's going to be big. You're going to kind of see most of it coming, but like Us. So if you don't know, Us is essentially a story about a family that goes on vacation and they end up being sort of like not haunted, but sort of terrorized by doppelgangers of themselves. Long story short, basically the main story is that the main character, Lupita Nyong'o's character, is when she's a kid, she goes into this fun house while they're at a beach in like Santa Monica. No, it's Santa Cruz, I think.
Okay.
And she goes to this fun house and the power goes out, starts to rain and power goes out. She'd wander away from her parents and she's in this like room of mirrors and she sort of like, she keeps hitting these mirrors thinking like, trying to get out. And then she backs up to a mirror and she backs up to
trying to get out?
there it is. You got it. You found the red thread
Okay.
of all his movies. Everybody's trying to get out. Yeah. And she backs up and then she bumps into another person. You think it's a mirror, but it's her. And they turn around and face each other and it's a doppelganger of her. And then we flash forward and she's very like, this kind of like set her back as a person. And she's had trouble like coping when she was younger. She had trouble speaking. She's gone to therapy. Her parents have taken her to therapy to try and she's gotten better now, but she's still very anxious. And so eventually what happens is, they're haunted by, they're terrorized by these doppelgangers. You find out that everybody has a doppelganger. And they've all
Everybody in the world?
Yes, and they've all
Okay.
come out from these like underground tunnels where they've lived, and they just start killing their doppelganger.
Are they scrolls?
No, I wish. They're like these like they like a lot of them can't speak and they like are like weird. So like right now, if I'm doing this, I'm like doing these weird hand movements. There's a version of me in these tunnels who's doing like a demented version of that, and like they're just like everybody's acting out their doppelganger's thing. And
so all the doppelgangers that are underneath us, are living our lives, but
they're like shackled to us. So like if right now you and I fucked, they would have to fuck.
Yay.
Yeah. So which I mean. You guys know what we're about to do after this podcast.
Yeah, so when I come in your butt.
Yeah. Your doppelganger will probably shoot like black cum, I guess. We don't see that, but no, they'll just come in their butt. So, but
squidding dick.
So there is like a gross bit of it where like if you were to have
the butt fucking part?
No, that's the best bit.
Okay.
The like if you and your girlfriend like hook up and like or get married and have kids, right? Your doppelgangers are going to be forced to be together and have kids. So it's kind of fucked up, but then and that's like an interesting thought-provoking
so
thing.
Are these doppelgangers like do they have their own consciousness?
Sort of. They like know that they're like they are forced to do all this, and a lot of them just live in that. They don't think about it. It's just mindless. Okay. And you are led to believe that Lupita Nyong'o's character, like at the very beginning of the movie, she's watching a commercial for Helping Hands Across America. Do you remember those when we were really little?
Yes, I do.
Where you would hold hands and go. Everybody would make a chain across America to cure hunger. Made no sense.
I mean. On paper, makes total sense.
Yeah, on paper, it cures hunger because we all die.
Yeah.
Whoever's in the mountains is dead quick.
Yeah, you're in the fucking middle of Appalachia. There's no restaurants around.
And the Rockies, those people are surely dead.
Yeah.
And then the chain's broken, and so we have to keep replacing that population, and we all die.
Yeah, of course.
But so the doppelgangers come out, and they're all wearing red, like in those Helping Hands commercials, and that's what you find out their goal is to kill their doppelganger and to make a chain of humans across America.
What?
That's not the twist. The twist.
That's retarded.
And
I use that word.
Yes. I use that word regretfully.
Regretfully. That is retarded.
It is.
As in, it retards.
Yeah. You're really trying to. No, keep going. Take your time.
No, retard as in, like it slows down progress.
It slows down the movie, too.
Yeah.
Because you literally have to take a minute and go, why?
Why? Why? What? And how?
Yeah. And so you find out that, like, long story short, there's some really great humor. Like, Winston Duke is amazing in the movie.
Is it the dad?
Yeah, he's the dad. He plays M'Baku in Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like the other
that guy.
Yeah,
M'Baku's one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Yeah, he's great. And he's fantastic in this movie. He's very funny. His doppelganger is like really dumb and just huge, and that like when they have to fight each other, it's very funny. Tim from Tim and Eric. Tim, what's his last name? Heidecker. He is very funny, and he does a great job playing this like really like rich, like just dumb white dude kind of.
Okay. Elizabeth Moss.
Moss is his wife. They have these really annoying twin daughters, and when they're killed by their doppelgangers, it's very funny.
Yeah, I did just. So I'm scrolling through the IMDb, and I did see the two girls that look identical.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, why would they hire two girls? And I looked down, they're the same last names. They're twins.
Yeah, they're twins. Yeah. And then their doppelgangers kill them, and it's all very funny. But so that's the thing is like this movie is very worth seeing. But okay, here's the twist.
Okay.
You find out, you're led to believe this whole time. Yeah. Spoilers hardcore for this movie. But you're led to believe this whole time that experience in the, like, her. Lupita Nyong'o's character doppelganger can talk, and she basically tells her like, yeah, after I saw you, like I then was like, I like went down and I freed everybody. I went back. Like the funhouse, she had like somehow wandered up. Like when she wandered into the funhouse, her doppelganger was forced to wander right to the point where they met. Somehow it just worked out by chance. And so Lupita Nyong'o then like went and did ballet and stuff, and it like made her doppelganger like really graceful. And she's like, without you, I never would have danced at all. And like you find out though at the very end that that when they've actually met in the funhouse, her doppelganger choked her and drug her down there, and so she is actually the doppelganger this whole time. But none of that makes sense. Like, so it's like, oh, the reason she couldn't talk afterwards is because she's never spoken. And like, because they can't
she's
talk.
The doppelganger, so she has to learn how to talk.
Yeah, but then the doppelganger that comes out like has like a hoarse voice and has no idea how to speak, sort of.
Because she was choked.
I guess she was choked for like a half a second. Like she's choked really quick and then drugged downstairs. She's also drugged down like a couple of hallways and an escalator and then left there. You're telling me she could never have just wandered back out. You're also telling me that like nobody has ever wandered in like any way that would lead their
Into the
doppelganger
tunnel?
out of the tunnel, or found their way into the tunnels.
Yeah.
And like all of this, it all just makes no sense. There's a lot of really cool stuff, but that just ruins all of it.
Okay.
And you're kind of
Yeah.
thinking like, okay, so
doesn't
she's-
sound that good.
Well, and also it makes no sense. So Lupita Nyong'o, the real her that's drugged down to the hallways, she makes this plan to lead everybody out. And like, so the idea is like, oh, she watched this Helping Hands commercial when she was a kid. And so that's the plan she concocts. She like breaks the chain and teaches all of them, okay, we're going to go up and kill everybody. I'm going to train you and we're going to kill everybody. And we're going to make this chain across America. And it's her revenge against everybody else. But she wouldn't
It wouldn't be revenge on all the other humans.
She doesn't
would want
care. Yeah,
revenge on the one doppelganger that choked her and brought her down.
She's 8. She just wants to get out probably. She doesn't know what's happening.
Oh, the red thread. There it is again. She just wants to get out.
Yeah, your face. I was like, what? Did I miss something? It's the red thread.
Every time you keep saying get out.
But you know what I mean? She's an 8-year-old. She's not thinking revenge. She's not like, well, I guess I'm here.
I don't know what kind of 8-year-old you were, but I was vicious.
Yeah, you're like, all I want to do is get revenge on everybody.
Yeah.
It just falls down completely, unfortunately. And at the very end, it like shows you, oh, this is when she gets choked, and she's in the car with her son and like her family. They've like made it out, and her son, I guess, like figures it out, like because he overhears the two of them talking, like her and her doppelganger talking. It really just like it falls down. And my buddy Tony and I went and saw it, and he and I we just looked at each other and we're like, no. But the best part about it was there was a woman and her friend sitting next to me on my side of the seats, and she must have gone into this movie having no idea what the plot was. Because every twist, like the second the family shows up, they're like, these two women are like, wow. And her friend, the woman next to me goes, now, if I'm not mistaken, those people in their driveway look just like the people in the house.
Oh my God.
And her friend goes, no. Which means her friend is thinking,
Fucking
we're
idiots.
smart enough, and so is Jordan Peele, that he would not play around with like clones and doppelgangers. Trust me. And then when the son's character like meets his doppelganger, he's wearing like a mask and he's like obsessed with fire. And her friend goes, now why doesn't he take that mask off? And she goes, he can't take the mask off or he'd know who he was. And we're like, we fucking know who he is.
Oh my God.
You dumb bitch. Like she was being so loud. Like they were like exclaiming this to the crowd.
I hate people that don't understand basic things.
Yeah, dude. So I would say go see Us, but I would also say be prepared for the twist that kills the movie.
Do you think it's anywhere? Do you think it's getting so much love because it's Jordan Peele?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I'll give him credit. He, even before this movie came out, he was saying, I'm looking at this, and it's also funny because he's now doing the Twilight Zone, but he's like, this is like a Twilight Zone type of movie. I'm looking at this like it's like me directing a movie version of like a Twilight Zone episode. So then you're like, okay, so it's a weird world, but still all of the character choices fall down when you figure out what the twist is. And you're kind of like it doesn't make it just a lot of it doesn't, it just falls down so much. And then I saw Shazam the next night, and that movie is great.
I have a quick question about Us still.
Yeah, sorry.
Something that Charlemagne the God said the other day. Yeah. He said, so if Get Out is a movie about race, then Us is a movie about class.
Yeah,
that kind of
yes. Because there's a bit where she goes, Lupita Nyong'o asked her doppelganger, "Who are you?" And she's like, "We're Americans."
Oh, so they're just like it's almost like the thrown away people of society.
Yeah, basically what she you don't ever really get a full story of how these doppelgangers came to be, but they kind of make it sound like rich people sort of started to make these doppelgangers a long, long time ago, generations ago, and then just forgot about them and cast them down.
Altered Carbony a little bit. Make like clones that don't really have the consciousness of the actual person. Yeah, and then they just kind of get discarded and people forget. So they start breeding together, and
they start breeding and like.
But they start breeding because the people above are
breeding, right? So they don't know that they're creating their own eventual destruction. But it's like you're building in like cool elements, but you fuck it all up.
Do you think 95% on Rotten Tomatoes is correct?
I think it's so far off. What's the audience score?
70.
That's maybe a little closer.
Yeah.
I'd say 65 probably, or something, 60. Because it's just that if you can't stick the landing, then what have you made, you know?
Yeah, Metacritic, it's 80. IMDb, it's 7.5.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of really good elements to it. It's just that's that ending, and it's the entire crux of the story falls apart.
Okay.
So then Shazam,
Yes,
is great. Shazam is great. It really has grown on me.
Looks terrific.
It's like this charming, like family friendly superhero movie.
Yeah,
it's the first one really that's geared towards like kids and family.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, but Ant-Man's still like a Marvel movie, and there's a lot of like
maybe in the DC universe.
I should say, I guess.
So
like,
is this one like a pocket DC universe? Does it take place inside the DC?
Yeah, because like Batman and Superman exist. Like
they do, but is it the same versions of Batman and Superman? Like, do they talk about them leveling cities and shit like that?
Yeah, they talk about like he's got a Billy Batson's like I forgot what his like little friend with the crutches. Yeah, he has like a one of Ben Affleck's Batman's Batarang.
I thought it was the crutch. I thought the crutch kid was Shazam.
No, yeah, no. It's Billy Batson. He's like the kid who like hits the kid in the trailer. He hits those dudes with a crutch.
Yeah.
And he's Shazam. But there's some really great, like, in the same way that Deadpool in a crude way took superhero tropes and like turned them on their head and made fun of them. They do a lot of really good stuff like that in Shazam. The plot is very obvious. Like a boy like becomes like the chosen one because he has to, not because he's the best. Like he's
I thought it was because Shazam like saw some integrity in his character.
What happens is he's been trying to find this person who really is pure of heart, like the best choice. And he brings in the dude who becomes the villain, and the villain, he's like, you're going to be tempted by this thing that's the 7 deadly sins, and if you can pass that up, I'll know that you're the right guy. Well, he doesn't pass it up, and he kicks him out, and the guy finally gets back and like takes the orb that's like the villain,
takes the power.
Yeah, he takes the evil power, and so this wizard who's seen like thousands of people in like the 30 years since is like, okay, I just need to find somebody close enough like that I can give my power to,
okay.
Which I kind of think is a fun thing. He's not the chosen
He's
one.
not perfect. He's
just the best that he could find at the time.
He's not like the Steve Rogers where like he's the guy who falls in the grenade.
He's like this kid in foster homes who's like run because he's trying to find his mom. And there's a good twist with that where like
he's got no mom.
No. Or dad. You love that bit. There's a really good thing too, because early on in the movie you see like what happened where like he's with his mom and they're playing, like they're at a fair and like
playing croquet.
Yes. No, they're at a fair and he wanders off and like he can't get back to his mom, and you're like, oh, she seems so nice. I wonder why she wouldn't look for him. And then he finds his mom, and you find out
she's sucking dick in a porta potty.
But no, kind of. No, that she was like, I was 16. Like I didn't look for you because like you like see her like how it really happened, and she's like run off her feet, and she's like, oh, like I just can't deal. And then he wanders away, and she sees him like get picked up by the cops, and like they're trying to find his mom, and she just leaves purposely. It's like really sad.
Oh, what a twat.
She's a bitch. Yeah. But there's a lot of really good
thing to do.
He gets picked up by a foster family, and this is one of the few movies that shows foster families.
Like Joe Dirt's mom.
Joe Dirte.
Joe Dirte.
Yeah, sorry. It's a Dirte. But it's some really good comedy to it. There's some really good there's a really good bit where they're like flying above the city, him and Dr. Savannah, who are about to fight, and they're both like the villain starts delivering. They're probably 100 like yards apart, maybe less, but they're so far away, and they're up in these high, like, you know, like flying, hovering above the city.
Yeah.
And he starts delivering this evil monologue, and he's going, "What? Like, I can't hear you." Like they can't, and you just hear him like in the like, and then they cut back to him, and he's like, "And you will be thrown against the wall, and I will kill you." And then he cuts back, and he's like, "Dude, I have no idea what you're saying." And it goes for a really long time while he just delivers this evil monologue. There's some really good, really good like humor. There's a lot of good bits where like kids won't get it and adults will, like those kind of jokes. But there's a lot of just like good, wholesome, like clean jokes that I like when a movie can be that way. It's pretty rare these days. You're either one or the other. Like you're clearly for kids or clearly for adults, and this can be for anybody, I think.
So it's like totally clean too, so like a child can watch it.
Yeah, there's like jokes that should be in there too, like where he's like, I don't know how to pee in my suit, like, and you're like, yeah, how do you? Like,
so it's like a lot of clean comedy.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's gonna come up in a minute. But we're gonna just finish on Shazam.
Try to segue.
Yeah, we will.
Forcing a segue.
Yeah, to the homework segment that we're gonna start doing here in a second. But no, I think Shazam I think it's probably my favorite DC movie now.
It's not hard to do.
No, I mean Wonder Woman's good and Aquaman's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent it.
You should.
Week.
You should watch it. It's not like it's like mindless fun.
I might watch it tonight.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, it's like mindless fun. Aquaman.
Stop by Redbox.
You should. But Shazam is like a really it's like a good movie. Like it's great. I really liked it. It really grew on me afterwards too. Like I was really
looking back. You're like, oh yeah,
I liked this more than I even realized I did. Yeah. Okay. Well, that and like the story. Like
how long is it?
It's probably like 2 hours. Maybe like 110 or something like that. I don't know.
It feels like it would be like an hour and a half movie.
I think it's longer than that. There's a couple of bits that are good, like little misdirects, and there's a lot of really good, like humorous bits built off of
212.
212. Wow. Okay. Cool.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
Dude,
we also never talked about that.
Djimon Hounsou is in every fucking movie.
Djimon Hounsou.
Yeah. I don't know how to fucking pronounce.
Well, he's in. What's funny is he's in Aquaman as a character, and he's also in
Shazam
as a different character.
And he's also in Captain Marvel.
And he's also in Guardians. And granted, in Captain Marvel, he's playing the character he is in Guardians.
Is he?
Yeah. Whereas in Aquaman, he's a fish man, and then in this, he's a wizard.
He's also in my favorite movie, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
Oh my god, are they going to say Blood Diamond?
No.
Isn't he in Blood Diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Legend of Tarzan, which is a great movie.
Great feels like a stretch.
It's a good time.
I thought, I had a good time with it.
For that kind of movie, it's very good.
And for as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be
terrible.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I had a good time with it. But no, so go see Us, go see Shazam. I would say I definitely like Shazam more, but Us is still, I don't think it should do anything to diminish Jordan Peele's star. I think it should I think you can miss on something like that. When you're dealing with when you're a director who's like clearly trying to deal with bigger concepts and like heavy like cultural ideas, I think there's a very obvious chance to miss.
Yeah.
And he still made like a good movie and it missed, but like I don't think it, and I'm still really excited to see his Twilight Zone reboot because I love a lot of old Twilight Zone. Did you ever watch any of the old Twilight Zone shit? Like even the reboot shit from the 80s that they would rerun when we were kids.
A little bit.
Yeah, there were some really good
a couple episodes.
Do you remember the one where Bruce Willis like got his start? It was like one of his first acting things.
No.
It's a bit where it's an episode where he goes, it's like Peter J. Novins, I think is the name of his character. I remember that episode. And he shows up in this bar and he's like kind of frazzled a little bit. And he's like, I got to call home. I forgot why, but he's trying to call home and like tell his wife where he's going to be or something. And he answers the phone. Like another version of him answers the phone.
Oh, like a doppelganger.
Yeah. And this is like a better version of that because he answers the phone and then they just start having this conversation where he starts like looking more and more disheveled throughout the episode, the guy in the bar, and the one that's on the other line.
It's like taking his life
like perfect. And he's just basically like, you fucked up. Like you had your shot. I'm here now. Nobody remembers you. Like I got this. Trust me. I'm going to take over and like, I'm going to do everything like the right way that you fucked up. Like this is your second chance. Like you need to just be like, you need to like let go and let me have this. I don't know. It's a really cool episode. That was in the reboot version in the 80s because there were 3 of them at the time. There was, I remember that because all the reruns would play on TV Land or something like that. But,
yeah, it was TV Land.
Yeah. And it was
always on TV Land.
Yeah. It was cool.
Was that still a channel?
I don't know.
I think it is because isn't that where Gaffigan's show was?
Yes, it was. Land? You're right. Yeah.
So it has to still be a show.
But they would play it. What was that Steven Spielberg anthology series that he had? Like Adventures and something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg anthology.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
Directed?
I don't know. He show ran it, I think.
Oh, by the way, the reason why Legend of Tarzan is so good, David Yates directed it.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harry Potter himself.
Yeah. Order the Phoenix on.
Mr. Potter.
Oh, Mr. Potter.
New celebrity.
Our newest
what's
celebrity.
It called?
What did I just watch?
Are you not looking at that?
Alan Rickman. No, I am.
Oh. I don't know. Was it Die Hard?
No.
Hans Gruber?
Alan Rickman. I don't remember.
It's like Adventures of the Steven Spielberg
Did he
one.
direct it?
No, it's I think he show ran it or produced it.
Okay, well, I gotta go through 130.
No, why didn't you just type in like Steven Spielberg anthology series?
Oh, because I'm on IMDb.
Because you're dumb.
I'm on IMDb.
Steven Spielberg anthology.
Let's talk through.
I know.
Googles.
God, dude. There was another one too, and I forgot what that was called, but I just remember it was like they would show Amazing Stories. That was Steven Spielberg's. And then what is the other one was There Is Another World.
I don't know. Twilight Zone though, like I think the only one I ever like that I really remember is like when aliens come to Earth and they're like everybody thinks that they're coming to bring us all like food.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna feed all humans.
Yeah,
but it's ways to feed or ways to cook humans or something like that. It's like the big twist is that the aliens are actually here to eat us all.
Oh yeah,
it's like a very famous episode.
That's a really good one. And then fuck, I cannot figure out what this show was called.
What's it about?
It was like a darker oh wait, maybe this is it. A darker anthology series. Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Amazing Stories, Black Mirror.
Okay. Well, this is great content.
Okay, let's continue. So I want to introduce a new series.
Yes.
That
it's gonna be like
a new series, a new segment. Yes, to the show.
It's probably gonna be like a third of the podcast.
I think so.
I think like first hour, just
do stuff.
Us talking on shit,
comics. Maybe. Yeah. Which will also probably be part of the segment at different points, but it's a fun thing. Alex and I always talk about all these various like things that we really like, that we're really passionate about.
Yeah,
but we talk about a lot of it in passing to use it as like an example to talk about whatever our topic is that we're already on.
Yeah, it's just kind of like in a tangent.
Yeah,
in a tangent, we talk like very specifically about like certain types of comedy or music or
movies or
comics or
comics. Yeah, tons of stuff. Or sports, even.
Or sports.
I won't ever do that to you. But
you can. I need to learn more about sports.
I don't know if needs the right word. But speaking of today's Cardinals' first game, just want to say they lost.
Opening day.
Yeah, I think they lost.
And we're dated.
We and
the podcast is dated.
Oh, no, I already said it. You can't date the podcast.
But what if I want to? She's so sexy.
Yep, the Cardinals lost 5-4. Anyways. Yay! Did you see who was on the back of my shirt?
Yes,
Polly Goldschmidt.
Cardinals t-shirt, like an ass.
Yeah, yes, it's like an ass. So no, this new segment, I think we're just going to call it homework, and it's each week we'll end the podcast. This week we won't have any, but we'll end the podcast talking about the homework we gave each other to do. So we'll basically say, well let's say what we're going to do. So
okay, so what I want Nick to do
for homework for next week.
Yeah. Nate Bargatze's The Tennessee Kid just came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so I want him to watch that, but then also dive into something that he already likes kind of a little bit, but I want him to dive
surface level.
Yeah, way deeper into clean comedy.
Right.
And kind of where that fits into the current state of stand-up.
Because Alex knows that I love Brian Regan and I love Jim Gaffigan.
Yes.
And I've seen all their stuff.
Yeah. And then Nate Bargatze is a completely clean comic, but he's a much better. I wouldn't say he's a much better joke writer, but he is right now.
Yeah, the other two have become much bigger than
Regan's a legend, Gaffigan's a legend for their joke writing ability and for their stand up. Yeah, and he's not coming on the scene because he's been doing stand up for like 15 years, but he's just now getting popularity.
Yeah,
and it's a comic that I've talked to, and he's a fucking great hang. He's a good time.
Dope.
Yeah, it's just he's a genuinely good dude.
And we want
so you should listen. So you should watch The Tennessee Kid.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling up to it, I would also listen to his album Full Time Magic.
Okay. Is there no there's no like video?
Don't think so. No. Okay. I think it's just an album,
which is fine.
Actually, I think there is a video. I think I've just listened.
It's just not on Netflix though. Probably.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, like I like clean comedy. I feel like it's so it's not like it's like harder. Especially if you're doing it.
It's harder to do.
I was going to say, it feels like it's harder to do.
It's so much easier to swear.
Yeah. Because even like you think about guys who probably, a lot of people probably think of like John Mulaney as a clean comic, and he's not. He's just so like innocent. He cusses a lot.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he does.
says fucking stuff like that in his shows.
For real?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never really picked up on
like
that.
bullshit and stuff like that. Like,
but yeah, so I would do some research on Nate Bargatze.
So Nate Bargatze. I'll listen to a couple of his specials.
Yeah, he does have a stand-up special, but it's on Comedy Central, so you can't watch it unless you have
I was gonna say,
a Comedy Central login.
I can probably figure it out.
But yeah, that's a really great special. That's from like a couple years ago.
Okay,
3 years
so I'll
ago.
watch those too and just like delve more into clean comedy.
Or you can just focus on him.
Well,
He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Like he talks about it. He's talked about it in every special.
Yeah.
But from like his earliest memory, his dad was a clown his entire life. Like that was like his job.
Weird.
And then that's the whole premise of his of that Full-Time Magic special is because his dad graduated from being a clown and now he's magic full time. He just does magic.
Damn.
Yeah,
Close up magic.
He has a very interesting life.
Shit, dude.
Or he had a very interesting upbringing.
Yeah, I would have to say.
I think he even says in the Tennessee Kid, he's like, yes, if you don't know, like my dad's a clown, so obviously I'm a comedian. he's like, you can't really grow up with having a dad as a clown and not be. He's like, yeah, it's a bit of a nudge, of a nudge into the comedy direction.
100%. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested.
So I want you to delve into that one.
So that'll be for next week.
Yeah.
And then for you, what I want you to do is I want you to go and listen to the Black Parade album, the full album. But but you're gonna have to do it. You'll listen to it more than once. So you'll go. It'll be 3 times through, but not all at once. Not all at once.
3 times.
You'll have to listen to the whole album 3 times.
Jesus Christ!
It's only 40 minutes. Like it's not going to take you that long, and you don't do it all in one sitting. What you do is you listen to it all one time through, straight through, and just to like don't think about it, just like let it all happen to you.
Okay.
But really like listen to it.
Okay.
Second time you listen to it, it can be right after or it needs to be pretty quickly after. So you're still having whatever feeling it gave you. And you read the lyrics and you think about like tone, listen to instrumentation, all that kind of shit. And then wait and like a day or 2 later or 3 days later, listen to it all one more time.
For the 3rd time?
Yeah. And just like let it happen to you and like remembering like the lyrics and everything like that.
Okay.
And then like really that way you've developed like that's what this album is to you. For me, that's how I've always been told like album analysis should go. Like
that's how you listen to albums. You go all the way through and then you delve into all the lyrics
and like tone and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I wait a couple
days. And then think about the actual like music. Think about like the actual
Yeah. Sometimes I'll do 4 times. Like I'll do like lyrics as one and then music as another. I'm not telling you to do that.
Fucking hate
you can do both at the same time.
Music so much.
I don't know why.
I don't hate music. I just like it's not my number one.
I think you'll really like the writing.
Entertainment system.
I think you'll really
entertainment system.
Entertainment system. You're like, I have my PS4 and I have my iPod.
It's just not my favorite media to consume.
No, but this is music that you'll like more because you like that album.
I've listened to that album before.
Have you the whole album before?
I think so. Yeah,
probably.
You'll know
a lot of the songs.
Not all the way through, but I've heard every song.
But albums, especially like that one, where it's like a full concept album, like there's a story told through it.
Not many concept albums being made.
Not anymore, really especially. Ever. Yeah, they're very rare.
I think it happens more in rap now.
Yeah, well,
rap people do.
They're not the same kind of concept, though. It's not like It's more of like a theme album for them.
Yes,
which is just
way more of a theme.
No less
J.
viable.
Cole, Kendrick,
hardcore
like those
J.
are
Cole,
like themed. Albums.
Yeah, Kendrick too. You're
What's
right.
The
Life of Pablo is that way too.
Life of Pablo is a great
actually
album.
808s. A lot of Kanye stuff is that way. But Black Parade is like telling this story about a character called the Patient, and it's about him. It starts with him
it's all
dying.
about a character.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's immediately the first song is called The End, and then and the next song is called Dead. So he dies right away, and then it's about you. It's like about him, like sort of going through like his life, and like does he wish he was dead? People, how he feels about other
Black
people.
Parade. Is that when he finally like goes to?
No, that's in the middle of the album. It's not. Yeah, you'll kind of get it, but I think you'll love the writing. There's some lines where I'm still just like, fuck, that is like. There's a really good line that I was listening to in like the third or fourth song.
Tattooed?
I've thought about it. I've never done it.
I know you have.
Yeah. There's a really good
Actually,
line where
I didn't know that, but I knew it.
Yeah. There's a really good. There's a really good line that's like talking about like the sharpest lives are the deadliest to lead. Like the smartest people are also usually like the saddest and most fucked up.
Yeah.
But then they talk about like you want to be.
That's a pretty fair thing to say.
Well, and then he talks about like you want to be a light to burn all the empires so bright that the sun is afraid to rise and be. And I was like, shit. Like it's pretty good. I feel like that's
that's very high level writing.
Yeah. I think that's what you'll probably like the most. That's why you should listen to it and then go through a second time and think about like the music and the lyrics, like read the lyrics as you listen.
Is Gerard Way, is he like the sole like
lyricist,
creative force?
Just lyricist. Yeah, and then they all write music together.
They'll write the music
together. Yeah, Ray Toro. I don't know if you probably wouldn't know what they look like.
Ray Toro.
That's one of the guitar players.
Ray Fatty Tuna.
Yeah. They all have funny names. They all have. Dude, the My Chem guys have such old school names.
Ray the Bull.
Gerard Way, and then you have Mikey Way. He's a bass player. Ray Toro, Frank Iero, and then Bob Breyer. They just sound like old men, don't they?
No.
For little emo kids. Frank.
I thought those are
Frank, Bob, Ray.
Okay, fucking Ray Toro and Gerard Way. I get those two are pretty good.
Yeah,
and then you're just like, yeah, they all have great names.
No, I'm saying
none of those other names were good.
No, I don't think they're great. I said they sound like old men from like they sound like they played for the Yankees in the 40s.
Bob Breyer. Yeah, they do.
Frank Iero coming up to the plate after Bob Breyer.
Okay, that's fair.
Ray Toro and Mikey Way.
Mikey Way,
brother of Gerard Way, who had a double yesterday. He had a doubles in basketball.
Double.
He had a double.
He ate a Chick-fil-A.
He had a double. So it'll be 3 times.
Animal style.
Yeah. Animal style. Oh boy. Yeah, that's what it is. In and out. Ooh, animal style. So you got your homework. I have mine. So we'll come back next week and maybe we'll start off with homework so we can really cement the segment. Maybe that's what we do. We start every episode with homework.
Okay.
So that way we end and we start. Yeah. Okay.
I say we each have to write notes too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really like showing that we did some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be the
I
right
have a
way.
feeling there's going to be a couple weeks that we come in and we're like, oh, I didn't take any notes.
Well, let's make sure this first one isn't the one we fail on.
Yeah, I'm not.
So yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
I got to go look at some houses.
Yeah, you do. I gotta
go eat some Mexican
I have
food.
homework to do.
Oh,
not that homework, but other homework. Yes.
Okay.
So you can find us on Instagram. Is that even a thing?
We don't even post.
We could.
I know. We need to start posting.
Yeah, we need to get a logo, a real one, like a real logo first, and then we can do that. And then you can find. Fuck it. You can't find me on Twitter. There's no point. I mean, you could, but why would you? You can find Alex on Instagram.
Yeah, find me on Instagram at Augie Panu,
and then at the Nick Lanham.
Yep.
And
same with your Gmail, right? Lanham at Gmail.
No, fuck off, man. Yeah, you can email me. Yet? No, but I will.
Email us at notthatitmatterspod
at Gmail. And then also you can rate us on iTunes.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah, definitely give us 5 stars on iTunes. Give us 5
stars on iTunes, and then shit on us in the comments.
Yeah, make the comment like the worst thing you can think of, but make sure it's 5 stars.
Yep.
And then we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
And goodbye. I love you so much.
Love you too, buddy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you? Okay. I meant them.
Zip.
Zip. Got him.
Get that penis out.